Follow me, follow me.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm back, y'all. I've been so busy these last couple of days. Haven't been feeling that well these last couple of days myself. I'm a little bug going around the whole family. They're just passing around. You know, my immune system not all the way back 100% yet. So, I catch colds easily. But I'm back, and I am so ready right now to do the review for the haves and the have-nots. Season 4, episode, I think it's 16. And The Heart of a Man, that's what this episode was called. And you don't even know right now, this episode right here, it has been a long time coming. And I'm sure y'all probably already seen other reviews by now, but I'm gonna take it piece by piece by piece by piece. But I have been waiting on this moment. Only thing I'm telling y'all, I wish it would have. Anyway, when we get to that part, I'll let you know my feelings on that. But it basically picks up with Hannah telling Jim that Wyatt was dead. And I mean, I just can't believe that Jim is still up in the jail, looking all fucked up and crazy. Nobody gave him a washcloth to kind of just, try to, at least make. They didn't dress none of the wounds or nothing on his face. He just looking fucked up in that motherfucker. And but he's still looking the same way. He's like asking Hannah all these questions. Are you sure he's dead? And she said yes. Was he alone? And all the questions he was asking, she didn't know. But he lashed out to where he started banging on the door for the DA, for the guards to come, because he wanted to talk to the DA. Now, as y'all know by now, he don't have no pull up in the jail like he might normally have pull. So they ain't fucking with him at all, for real. And it's like, shoot, we don't work for you. You ain't the one in charge here. They slammed me down on the table or whatever. And he was begging Hannah to go to DA, I can't even think of what her name is, to the DA. Yeah. So anyway, Hannah saying, I'm not gonna do that. She said, I don't work for you no more, or your wife. I'm not y'all's maid, and I'm not going to do that for you. And he was begging her, y'all. But even though Jim is not my favorite person, for real. I don't like how arrogant he is, but he is who he is, and I can't fault him for that, because I don't like David, because David is a pussy. He just, how can even, I don't even know how he even can even. I'm so glad he filed for divorce, or he's filing for divorce. But what type of man allows somebody to do that? If you, for your son, and you knew that Veronica was blackmailing your son like that, you should have handled that, nipped that shit in the bud. So I don't have no kind of nothing. Whether if you was going to accept him for being gay, who cares about all that? You didn't have your son's back, and you continue to let Veronica do all the things she did. But anyway, we're gonna get past that. So then, after once Hannah tips up out the cell, and that where she was telling Jim, and she tips out there and she bounces, and so Jim is still going through whatever he's going through. So then we get to war. I know it's a principle thing with war, but how he was carried in with. And wait a minute, no, let's not talk about war. Let's talk about Benny. How can Benny claim that he's from the streets and he don't know a damn thing that's going on? That's what I don't understand, how he can even claim the streets, because Benny has got to be one of the dumbest people in the whole entire world. He don't know how to read nobody for nothing. Candace has told him both-faced lies, took him to an office where they just put the name tag up on there, and then as soon as he left, they was, what's wrong with him? What's really, really wrong with him? That's what I don't understand. How can Benny be so dumb? And he has a sister that is so street and so, man. So Benny waiting on, Moore waiting on Candace's, text text him with the picture of the money, and he's sitting there, and Benny talk about picking up the phone, knowing good and well the phones ain't working. I mean, what do you think happened between earlier today and before when Mitch went to came in or whatever? You think what they magically just came back on now out of all places? You knew the phone wasn't working, so he gonna pick it up and he said, "Well, he messing with my money," and he getting up and when Ward sit there and say, "Well, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. You got to calm down." And right there, Benny. How he didn't want you motherfucker to bounce up out of there, and how when you was getting ready to bounce, once he found out that money was there, he was blocking the motherfucking door like, nah, y'all ain't going motherfucking nowhere. But my man Mitch came back through, and Mitch ain't holding no cut cards on how he's feeling about war. and when Benny was sitting there saying, well, Ward talked me out of it because he said I was a little hot-headed. Hot-headed, my motherfucking ass. You wasn't hot-headed. Boy, I could see you if you was on the rampage when you picked up those keys. You was just as mellow. He said, let me go over here and talk to this man. So what was he talking about? You was hot-headed. You wasn't even hot-headed. He just didn't want you to go because he was going to take you out. And that's what your stupid butt, he was going to take you out. If Candy didn't sit there and send him that text message. And when he does, he's I'm just fucking with you. Benny's my boy. And then he said, and because Mitch is bucking against him, like, nah, what you listening to War for? War, I thought you was supposed to be about it, get it. And he said, well, how you know about that? And whatever Mitch is, whatever his family, who his peoples are, I don't know if they're part of law enforcement or if they're, just got people. People in the payroll or what. I don't know, but he made some shit motherfucking happen. But he bucks up against war. He's not scared of war. I'm just in there was wondering if they gonna actually come to blows or whatever. But that doesn't make any difference right now. But yeah, so he got the text from Candace, and she was taking a picture of the money. So he get ready to go out and see when Mitch came back in. Y'all remember from last week when after War had sit there and got into it, and when he left out and he went to go see Candace, and that's when I realized that they must have fucked before in their lifetime. But that's when he called his cousin or whoever, was like, I need you to do this or whatever. And basically I knew that they were going to drop a dime on him, but I just didn't know how it was going to go down. So he gets back to the lot from seeing Candy. I'm assuming that's where he was coming from back from seeing Candy. And he had a tire. And he put that tire in Quincy's trunk. Now, only thing I could be able to think of for him to put that tire in there, there's something he's transporting in that tire. Okay? So he goes... So basically, Ward was sitting there trying to leave out. He came back in and said, you need to move your truck, talking to Mitch. And he was like, right now. And he said, and Mitch was like, I'll be glad to. So he went out and moved his car. So then we go back to what we seen last week with Melissa and Jeffrey up in the room. And she, I don't know why I was thinking that Melissa's parents was sick and Veronica was going to help them with their medical bills. But I don't know. From the way she's talking about it, she says, I just want my mom and daddy to be taken care of. And so she was like, look, is this how it's going to be? And he's like, yep. And she was like, well, this is going to be some unhappy times. Because she said, you think I want to do this? You think I like you sitting there looking at me like you hate me? And she said, but I got to do what I got to do for my parents. And if you can tell me that my parents are going to be okay, we can make that bitch pay for what because she said, I can't stand Veronica. And she just came out and just sit there and said, other than that, you just going to have to bear, grin. You do you, I'll do me, and we'll just for show whatever purposes we got to show. All you got to do is smile, kiss, grab these boobs, we'll do whatever. But we already know it's nothing's going on between us. But Jeffrey ain't even trying to go for that because he don't feel like he ain't even has to. So, but basically, Miss Melissa said, well, this is either that or I'm going to be here. And we're going to have to make something out of something. But y'all already know how I felt about Jeffrey. Jeffrey puts himself in these positions of where he can be blackmailed and don't know how to get out of them. And one moment he wants to be like he's rough and tough, and he's not that same pussy that we've been knowing for the last couple seasons. And forever. I mean, he's always been a pussy, but now he's trying to act like he's coming into his manhood, and he's not coming into his manhood at all. Because right back, soon as his mama sit there and start threatening him like that, if I kill Quincy, bitch, I might kill you. Okay? But he just doesn't have it in him. And he's just a motherfucking goddamn... Man, I can't stand him. I can't stand him because I am in this lifestyle. And and there's just... For you not to have no type of backbone whatsoever. That... Like, you don't even have a mind of your own. And you're just so weak. I mean, and it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. So then downstairs, like Melissa and Jeffrey upstairs, here comes in David, talking about, I came here to pick up my son. And she said, he ain't going nowhere. He's up there with Melissa in their room. They're moving in together. And he's like, oh no, Jeffrey. I mean, he ain't even yelling his name really loud either. I mean, there's certain little parts, this are just fake to me. I mean, he acted like he's really yelling his name or whatever. He said it no... Alice in the kitchen couldn't have heard him calling Jeffrey. I mean, she right in the other room. And he said, Jeffrey, come on, son. Come on. You don't have to, she don't have the car anymore to hold over top of your head. And whatever it is, it's not, can't be. She said, yes, it is. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You just don't know. And I'm not telling you, but yes, it is. And Jeffrey just sitting there. Oh, I mean, he come down the steps and his dad said, I said he come down the steps, but then there's a phone call. And she said, Alice, I don't feel like being bothered. She said, this is an important phone call. And who was it but Catherine? And Catherine must be telling her, she said, oh no, Catherine. Oh no. I'm going to be, I'll on my way. I'm going to be over, I'm going to come and see you. And she hangs up and she said, your boyfriend is dead. Now, the sad part, I think, is when Veronica takes the phone call and she gets finished with it. She's so blasé as she's getting fucked up. She is so drunk, it don't even make no... I don't know if I've seen her drunk or maybe she was... When she was setting the house on fire, I've never really seen her just, like, so out of commission like that. But that crazy look like she did when she set the house on fire. But anyway, it appears... your poor Wyatt is dead. And Jim gonna be like, oh no, Jim. And then he goes running out the door. He said, Jeffrey, you coming with me? Jeffrey said, no, Dad, I'm gonna stay. And so he's going, he's leaving out. She said, look at him. He's going to his boyfriend, Jim. He always runs to Jim. And just like you would always run to Wyatt. And your little junkie boyfriend is dead now. And I'm like, Veronica, I know you're crazy. But when somebody's sitting there dead or whatever, why are you going to sit there and just... She's going off on Jeffrey. Because Jeffrey is whimpering. It's the fakest cry I ever seen in my whole entire life. Because I know if I lost my best friend like that, which I did, my best friend was actually murdered. And when we went over to the house, this is just something real life. Going from coming from a motherfucking hostro, stabbed 32 times. And when we found found him up in his house like that, and they came back out and didn't let us see that body that one last time, I'm telling you, I lost it. Okay? I lost it. So, I was speaking in tongues and some old stuff. They caught me speaking in tongues from the cameras that was way on down the street when the news people was out there. But that mean so if that's what I'm saying. That scene was not even really realistic, because if you would have found out, it wouldn't have been no fake tears, okay? Because I would have been out of commission, y'all. I'm telling you. I mean, there's nothing worse. I've had 2 friends killed from products from the host show. Going out, picking up somebody they don't know, and they didn't got killed. That's the reason why, I slowed my butt down. I was out there and I done some things in my life, and put myself in some situations that I would never know that I would be put into. But those 2 folks just rocked me to my core. And I was out of it, y'all. I was. So for Jeffrey just to be whimpering, and how much he was in love with Wyatt, and the fact that he seen Wyatt before he even went over to that hotel room and was telling him, "Oh no, you can't have all that money. You can't." But because he was going through his little trying to deal with what happened to Quincy and going through all that, he wasn't able to focus on no Wyatt. But I know he has to feel something like that. Like, man, if I would have just told that boy, and just stay there. And all the what ifs that you could sit there and say, because my friend, like I'm saying, the friend that I'm talking about, I was the last person to see him alive. And I was over his house. He went out to the club, went back over his house, and he begged me to stay. And I was like, no, I'm hungry. I want to go home, because he didn't have nothing in the refrigerator. And then the next day, his cousin called me and said, have you talked to him? And I was like, nah, he was so drunk, he was probably passed out or whatever. But anyway, all I'm sitting there saying is, it's hard to, with the things that go through somebody's mind. And I just expected a better reaction from Jeffrey than what he was giving me. Okay? He wasn't giving me what I really wanted him to give me as far as his reaction. But Veronica kept on taking that knife and screwing it in and screwing it in and screwing it in and screwing it in, talking about, oh no, there you go. You making me look at me just like a sissy. She said, hey girl, your boyfriend's dead. Oh shit. Oh man. I couldn't even believe it. I could not believe it at all. How she was just haunting him and trying to tease him and talking about he wasn't shit. And she said, and so he ready to go to Catherine. You're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere until you pull yourself together. But okay. So we're gonna skip from that for just a second, okay? Because we're gonna split. So now, let's go back now, because all this happened right before this part, and this is where the Ward part comes in. So Ward hooks up with Candy, and she has 2 bags full of, I guess, $1 million in one bag and $1 million in another. He's like, "Is it all there?" He said, "Do I have to count it? Because if you're $1 short, I'm coming back." She said, "No, it's all there." And he was like, "Oh, okay." He said, "Well," she said, "So are we good?" He said, "Yeah, you good. You done proved yourself 2 million times over. Yes, we good." He said, "But I might stop by and give you a little tune-up or something." She said, "Well, will you please call first?" He said, "Yeah, I can do that." And he said, "'Cause you got some moves." She said, "Well, shit, if I'm like that, why am I paying you?" He said, "Don't push it. Don't push it." And she was like, "Just let me get in this motherfucking car and go." But so Ward's traveling down the little road, thinking, okay, I'm gonna get some bitches tonight. Henny all around for everybody. I'm gonna make it rain. And boom, woo, 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 woo. And they talk about, "Get out of the car, sir." He said, "Man, what's wrong with you? What I do? I ain't doing nothing wrong." They said, "Step out the car. Put your hands behind your back." And he was like, what you stopping me for?" And they said, we got a call that you sitting there dealing some drugs. You mind if we search your car? No, nigga, you ain't searching my car. I ain't giving you permission, so you can't do it. They said, well, we got a call that you was sitting there transporting drugs, so we do have probable cause. So now we sitting there get ready to search your trunk. They went right to the tire, pulled the shit out. Plus, he got the $2 million in the back seat of the car. What does that look like? But War, I mean, now y'all know anybody. First of all, anybody would sit there and think that Candace is the one. I mean, he don't even know what Candace even knows Mitch, so he's never even going to put it together that it was Mitch. And I feel sorry because either Mitch is going to die or Candace is going to die or Ward's going to have to get killed or something, because it's not going to be over for Ward. Because Ward thinks right now that Candy set him up, and he does. I mean, he thinks that Candy set him up, and I'm fearful for Candy anyway, because even if he don't get out of jail, he got people on the outside that he gonna call collect and say Candace did this. So I don't know. I don't know how Tyler's gonna sit there and make this go away. I do not know. But Candace don't know what's getting ready to come to her because of what Mitch did. And I know Mitch was looking out for her, but he should have let it be known that it was him. And maybe he might tell his people it wasn't Candy. I mean, maybe he might. I don't know, because he must know these people up in the police force for them to do that. So we're back over to Veronica, this dumbass. So Jeffrey is like ready. He has ants in his pants, and he's ready to get over there and check, because he really doesn't believe a word that Veronica's saying out of her mouth that Wyatt is dead. He's thinking maybe he might be in the hospital or something might be wrong, but he don't really think that Wyatt is actually dead. So, but he's ready to go, regardless of the fact. He's ready to run to Catherine, run to somewhere where he can, join the little, little not party, but consoling. Catherine, everybody consoling each other. Grieving. Go over to the grieving party, I guess you would call it. And he's ready to go. She said, "You're not going nowhere. And when you get over there, you better not cry. And you better," she said, "you better not cry at all. Because that's not what we do." And she said, "Well, get it all out right now, girlfriend." She's just, but talk about, she's so glad that Melissa's having a boy so she can have a second chance to try to raise a man, because now she's just acknowledging that Jeffrey is just nothing. She said, "I hate seeing you in all these floral stuffs." And she told Alice to go burn all the shit, because she already knew shit, because anything that's feminine she ain't gonna have them wear. And she just I don't know what type of setup they got over that house there, where Melissa just goes upstairs. None of the rooms got TVs in them. Come on. I know they might not be so much watching TV, but come on, let's make it look like a regular house, y'all. How none of these people's houses have no TVs in them? Come on now, and they don't have no rooms. You'll never see no rooms with no TV in it or nothing. But anyway, she finally picked up her shoe and said, "Come on, let's go." So he gets over there, and he goes over to Catherine and said, "Please tell me it's not true." She said, and she's another fake crier too. Okay, my mom probably wouldn't even be able to get a word out edgewise if one of her kids was dead. I'm sorry, and I know that she was boo-hooing and crying the last couple of weeks or whatever, but my mom wouldn't be able to pull it together like that. But she's sitting there. She says, "Yes, Jeffrey," and Hannah's consoling. She said, "Get your hand off my son." She said, "I will when you stop putting your hands on mine." And they going back tit for first of all, when she walks in the house over the criers, she gonna drop the coat in front of Hannah. But see, she's so far out of touch that she don't know Hannah don't work for them no motherfucking more. And even if she did, I don't think she would have even picked it up anyway, because Hannah is a little feisty one, okay? And I still don't like Hannah, but she ain't been working my nerves too much these last couple of episodes, but she's still not my favorite person either. So she comes in, drops the coat on the floor and says, "Hannah, pick it up." Hannah said, I ain't picking that shit up. She said, Jeffrey, come and pick it up. Jeffrey ain't paying her no attention. So she's sitting there starting to berate him and say, look at the little girl crying because he's like, she wouldn't say in front of Catherine that because Jeffrey loved it. Because Catherine would say, she loved him. I mean, he loved him. It was his friend. And Hannah constantly sitting there, I'm just soothing him and consoling him or whatever, and like rubbing his shoulder, like it's all right. I mean, go ahead and get it out. And he not lifting up his head because he fake crying and all that other type of stuff. And then he sit there and seen this bottle, and she said, "Why you keep on looking at that bottle?" He said, "Because I'm thinking about hitting you in the head with it." She just, okay. Now you trying to be a man, okay? Trying to sit there. He said, "No, Catherine, I'm sorry. We didn't come over here to bring you down any further." And I'm like, bitch, you sitting over here just acting up worse than anybody else could be acting. And y'all, let me tell you something. When he reached up and grabbed that knife and stabbed Catherine, I was like, jackpot. But that motherfucker needed to go in a little bit deeper because that bitch is still motherfucking alive. And I'm telling you right now, that bitch is just horrible. But, oh man, y'all. He finally stood up for himself. And you want to know something? Who gives a fuck about what, Candy, y'all got to get that body up out of there, okay? Y'all got to get that body up out of there because whenever Veronica does want to come over there, once y'all get that body from up out of there, y'all don't have nothing to have to worry about at all. Go get some lye or whatever it is that just destroys bones. Do whatever y'all got to do. Get rid of the body because, Jeffrey ain't gonna never be able to stand up on his own 2 feet. Not at all. But yo, that's that. I wasn't going to do this long of a video, but this was my episode that I've been waiting for so long. And here it is. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to do Greenleaf after this one. I'm going to do cutting it up in the ATL after that. And I should be all caught up, okay? But anyway, peace. And yo, please, subscribe to my page. Let me know that y'all out there. I have 2 subscribers, 3 subscribers. I'm not sure how many right now, but like my stuff, comment, tell me if I'm not doing a good job, tell me if I'm rambling on too much or if I'm cussing too much. Just give me some feedback so I can know how to make these videos a little bit better. As far as the quality of it, it is what it is right now because this is all I got to work with. But I'll get there. So, please, subscribe, leave me a note, something. All right, peace out, y'all.